to Quick Shot Reviews. I'm your host Luke and you are the Cheap Shot Nation, and this is the dedicated movie channel for Cheap Shot Entertainment. Today we're going to be reviewing a classic film which I'm on the fence about. If you've watched any of my reviews, it's either pretty much for me it's good or bad, and I can't hate this film. I don't hate this film. I think it's a really good film, but unfortunately for me, I find it quite boring. But I'm going to get met with stark resistance for this one because the film is Reservoir Dogs, and I have seen this in the cinema as one of the old school movies that they are releasing onto the big screen again, as chosen by, I'm guessing, the members or something like that, put in a request for a Halloween special sort of thing coming up to October to see what happens. Obviously Hollywood has been backed up because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and I'm just happy to be back in the cinema watching films on a big screen with the sounds and everything like that. Now, Reservoir Dogs, brought out in January the 21st, 1992, so it's the year before Jurassic Park, the last review we did. This 92% Rotten Tomatoes score, and it's directed by the incomparable Quentin Tarantino, one of my favourite directors, if not my favourite director of all time. And it is a really good film. The score is fantastic. You can tell the actors are really into the script and respect the director for everything. You've got Harvey Keitel, Michael Madsen, Tim Roth, Steve Buscemi. The list goes on and on of these stars that are in this low budget film, and you think, how did he manage to get all these really big names into his film when he had a mediocre budget? But this is the film that set Quentin Tarantino up. It was made on a minute budget, and I can't stress that enough. The film takes place pretty much 80% in one location, with little bits interspersed of before and after the robbery that goes wrong, and it's a jewellery heist. So the way the film is set up, the first scene sets the picture. You've got a bunch of guys sat round a table planning or just chatting about random stuff. The conversation comes up about what is Madonna's Like a Virgin supposed to be about, and there's several different ideas here, and it's dialogue heavy, which is probably why I find it quite boring. But this first bit is really funny. I mean, it really is. And you've got all these actors really pushing through their point, and you know, they sell it. They really sell it, and it's really good. But the way the film is set up, they've got these guys, nobody knows each other's names for the reason that if anyone gets caught, if anyone gets arrested, they can't dob in the rest of them. And it just, that idea is brilliant, and the way that, you know, you've got one of the Vega brothers there, played by Michael Madsen, who you learn later on is one of the Vega brothers, brother of Vincent Vega. I think his name's Vic Vega, and that's, like I say, Michael Madsen. Mr. Blonde plays a massive part in this film, probably in one of the most iconic scenes that you will ever hear being talked about in movies in general, with the cop in the chair and things like that, dancing to I can't even remember what it is now. Ding 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 ding. I don't know why I don't even know the name of the song. It's really bad. I love that song as well. Anyway, and that's because of this film. I like that song because of this film. Little Green Bag, I like that song because of this film. When I went to go and see this film, on the way there, I put on my internet music service, because I'm not going to say which one it is. I put on the Reservoir Dogs soundtrack because it is that good. I mean, even the guy who's droning on the radio, the sounds of the 70s, is brilliant. and there's one scene where they're delivering the dialogue and the door just springs open. You can tell the budget is low because the door and it's a set, and the door just springs open, and Harvey Keitel, delivering his lines, just walks over to the door, closes the door very casually, and then carries on, and it was left in, and it was brilliant. I love it. Yeah, but there's something like, I can't hate this film. Like I said, it's based on a jewellery heist that goes wrong, and at least the themes of betrayal and murder towards the end, as they're trying to figure out who the rat was, as someone dubbed them in. And it's like the setup was, but because it is dialogue heavy, I think that's what makes it boring for me. Like I say, I know the budget is small. I don't hate the film. I think the film is really good, and I really want to like it, which is why I keep watching it. But I just don't get on with it. It's not my favourite Quentin Tarantino film. When I see Tarantino these days, obviously the budget is bigger and the action is heavier, but I understand where this film was and how far it's taken that director to be one of the best, if not the best director in Hollywood, to have all these actors and actresses clambering to be in his films, and is so consistent that it's baffling. He's only done 8 films, a bit like the Rockstar games of films. He's been around since 1992. It's 2020. He's only directed 8 films, with a few bits in between, like Death Proof and stuff like that. And he's consistent. He's consistently good, and because he's got the same people in his films, it makes that consistency even better, because he can build this world. Like I say, the Vega brothers, from Pulp Fiction, my favourite Tarantino film, should be set, which I will watch and review, which would be really difficult because it's over 2.5 hours long, and there's so many different bits in there that it's crazy. And Vic Vega, it's baffling. I'm just spending 8 minutes talking about Quentin Tarantino instead of talking about this film, so I'm going to get back to the film. Harvey Keitel plays Mr. White, Chris Penn plays Nice Guy Eddie, Tim Roth plays Mr. Orange, Michael Madsen plays Mr. Bond, Steve Buscemi is Mr. Pink, Lawrence Tierney is Joe Cabot, and Edward Bunker plays Mr. Blue, with Quentin Tarantino playing Mr. Brown. He was even in his own film in this one, just to make up the numbers. That's how much he loves films, that's how much he loves directing, and that's how much he believed in this film. So I would say, if you've never seen this film, like I said, based on a robbery gone wrong, and the themes of betrayal and trying to work out who betrayed them, that kind of thing, with all the other bits interspersed in between, makes it a really good film. For me, I found it quite boring. I still find it quite boring, but I can't deny the fact that it is a good film. And I would say, if you've not seen this film, watch it. Make up your own mind. That's the theme of quick shot reviews. Make up your own mind. I can give you my opinion, but it's always down to you, the individual, being the Cheap Shot Nation, to make up your mind and get in contact with me. Let me know what you thought of the film, what you think of the film. Maybe you're a big super fan of the film. I'm a fan of the film. It's a really difficult one for me, this. Really difficult. I'm a fan of the film. I'm a fan of the setup. I'm a fan of Quentin Tarantino. But because it's dialogue heavy, I find it boring. And I can't help but find it boring. But there you go. It's a good film. I find it a little bit boring. It's a bit long-winded for me. But there you go. That's me. I'm going to give this film a Mr. Blonde out of a 7 ear, and my advice is to go and watch this film along with all the rest of the Tarantino films, because they're all fantastic in their own way. All those excel. Others are just really good, really well made, really well written films, much like this one. And you can really appreciate where this film was back in 1992, and you can really understand how much effort went into this from everybody, and it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Anyway, you are the Cheap Shot Nation. I have been your host Luke, and this is Quick Shot Reviews for Cheap Shot Entertainment, and I'll see you next time. Ding 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 ding. And I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I get down the stairs.